Well, the interesting thing in contemplating advances in asthma therapy, what most people would say is it's unfortunate, but there have been really no new classes of asthma medications that have been developed in approximately the last 20 years. And even all the new medications that have been coming out are actually variations on the older medicine theme. And so I think that is really a pertinent reason why we want to know who is and who is not going to be responders to the current slew of therapy. There are novel therapies such as bronchothermoplasty that have been recently approved by the FDA, but those are really, pseudo-experimental at this point in time because we really don't have really long-term outcome studies using those medications. In terms of how treatment of asthma might evolve over the next 5 or 10 years, I think there are a couple of things to really think about. One is, will there be novel therapeutics developed? We mentioned that there really haven't been new drugs developed over the last 10 to 20 years. We mentioned that there is one non-drug therapy, which is bronchothermoplasty, which is actually heating the airways. And I think that is a promising therapy for the worst of the worst asthmatics, certainly. And we'll know more about that as time goes on, and we'll be able to follow patients carefully. I think there certainly are targeted therapies that are under development, and it's hard to know. Everybody has tried to develop new asthma drugs, anti-IL-4, anti-IL-5, and none of these have really passed muster in phase 2 clinical trials because they haven't really been efficacious. So I think that people are certainly still trying to do those things, develop immunologically based type of therapies, and I think that there certainly is a good chance that something along those lines will be developed. Outside of that, I really do envision within the next 5 to 10 years that we will start doing a personalized genomic type of component where you can a priori predict who will and who will not respond to therapy. So my particular vision is unfortunately I have actually a clinical background as well, and I run a pediatric asthma clinic as well as doing pediatric and adult asthma research. And so I think from a frontline perspective, that is really what I would like to see is, I as an asthma specialist get referred the sickest of the sick patients. And even at that, a lot of what I do is trial and error. There are certainly asthma guidelines out there, and I certainly follow the asthma guidelines fairly routinely. But even there are step care therapies, there are alternative therapies within those guideline constructs. And what we hope to do is to actually narrow those by a priori testing to say, okay, let's just put you on this path right away rather than doing these months and months of potential trial and error type of therapies. In my clinical practice, has genomics changed my thoughts about patient medical practice? I would say that the answer is a qualified yes, and that is that yes, we know that there are certainly genetic tests out there, and as somebody who does genetics research, I'm better informed about those, and so I'm able to better talk with patients and actually, more importantly perhaps, other providers about what do these things mean. I think that most of the providers out there are actually don't really know a whole lot about genetic testing. So from that perspective, I have the knowledge base to be able to help and facilitate other things. Having said that, there really are relatively few true FDA-approved tests that are really out there that have impacted my clinical practice, either as an adult pulmonologist attending or in the pediatric asthma practice. But I believe that there clearly is hope in terms of we are getting there. Progress has been slow, but I believe that personalized medicine really is going to be on the horizon sooner rather than later.